So, our band of adventurers, the Talaria, have begun to make their way to the city of Sangan as part of their overall journey to find druid tribes for Akrisk, some which are supposedly residing in the Morag, the jungle just south of Sangan. In your initial travels, you were set upon by a vine drake, which had possibly saw you as a quick and easy meal, in which you made them reconsider their options, and as such were able to drive them off deeper into the forest. Rather than give chase, you decided to proceed onwards into your second day after examining your wounds and making sure that everyone was sound of body after their encounter. Partway through the second day, it was relatively uneventful until a forest appeared seemingly out of nowhere, just a little bit in front and to the side of you. Examining the forest, Akrisk noticed druidic writing, asking it to follow a friend, the friend seemingly being a small sparrow that was watching. As a group, you entered into the forest, followed this sparrow into a small glade in the middle, dominated by a hollowed-out tree. After a small bit of exploration by Aki, you decide to knock on the tree as the sparrow did. And as such, everyone, barring Havelock, who was not in the glade, seemingly vanished. And that is where we left off. So I guess the first question is, Havelock, you just saw your group knock on this tree and then just fade away.
I'm gonna go in there and knock on the tree as well.
Okay. So you sort of like walk up and just knock 3 times. Your vision doesn't necessarily shift, but you sort of notice in the corner of your eye various changes. It gets slightly darker. The air grows warmer. And the vegetation seems to grow thicker around the edge of the glade. For the rest of you, you saw this change as well. And after a few seconds, you see Havelock standing next to you all, slowly fading into view, as he had knocked on the trunk themselves. Aki, from within the tree itself,
Yeah.
are you on the lower part of the tree or on the upper part?
I'll be on the lower part.
On the lower part. Okay. So as you're sort of nearabouts to the ground, you sort of like look like towards the center of the tree, and you can see a man, a very old man, looks to be maybe in his 70s, possibly approaching his 80s. You can see he's got a bear pelt that's sort of covering the top part of his head, and from the lower part it just seems to be various robes and such. And you can see just on his finger, the little sparrow that's sort of like chirping towards him. After a few seconds, the sparrow stops and sort of like looks up at you. The man sort of like turns and looks up towards you as well. And at this point, you can see he's got a messy beard that sort of goes just to about level with his shoulder blades and such. His skin is bronzed from what you assume was many days in the sun. His eyes are a wispy grey, not blind, just a very greyish colour. As he just watches you for a little bit before he goes, "Oh, hello there. Are you our guests?" The rest of you can't see this, because as you look, Aki, the entrance for the hollow tree is now on the other side.
Yeah. Aki will turn back into himself from his weasel form, and he'll say, "Well, I assume so. Yes, if we are to take a mantle."
Very well, very well. Let us go speak with your other friends as well. He just slowly like pulls himself up. The sparrow just like flies off, and he sort of like moves out of the tree and circles around. The rest of you heard like mumbled talking through the tree, and then you see this elderly gentleman sort of like walk from around the tree show. Ah, many of you, yes, yes. Welcome, welcome. Please sit anywhere where you're comfortable.
Hold on, I'm just typing notes. Yeah.
I'm muted. Fuck
Yep.
me. I was gonna ask, is there anywhere to actually sit, or is it just like it's just tree?
It's just the glades just got grass and there's some flowers here and there.
Wow, I love grass. Yeah, Mev looks around a little bit and then looks at this strange man, and she just slowly sits down in the grass. She looks at Aki like, are we being held hostage? Is that what's happening? What's going on?
Tell you what, to clean that information, do you fancy rolling an insight?
Sure. I can do that.
Okay.
Alright. Insight.
So wait, is Mev inciting Aki?
Yeah, basically just see his. Okay. Aki looks. He looks sort of his vaguely anxious self, but nothing more than. Nothing. Not so anxious that you'd be worried, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, and Aki, Aki will go and say, right, well, I will find a spot for myself somewhere here, and so I thank you very kindly for your hospitality in your forest glade, and he'll go over and just find a spot is that hold on? So what's in the glade? Is there like rocks and stuff, or is it just open bit of tree land?
There's the odd rock here and there, nothing particularly substantial. There's flowers. They're sort of like dotting the place. You can see like maybe a bramble patch here and there.
Okay. And then Aki sort of just finds just looks for a bit of clean grass where there isn't going to be anything like any brambles or stinging nettles or anything, and just sits cross-legged on the ground. Tell you what. Okay, he's fine.
I assume everyone else sits down.
Yep. Yes.
Okay. So the old man sort of like walks near to the tree and just like sits down upon one of the roots. It's like, so tell me, what brings you here?
A butter.
Well, in in a short-term sense, yes, it was your little avian companion who guided our way.
I see.
But no, you see, we are traveling to the south, intending to perhaps stumble across druidic presence, and it seems it may have occurred earlier than we expected.
If it is a druid that you're looking for, then I can say with certainty you've met one now. Bomyr is the name.
What was that name again? Sorry.
Bomyr. Bomyr.
Says his name, Bomyr. Bomyr, huh? Akris Caventore, delighted to meet you. I've come far. Traveled all the way from Falls.
I've never heard of that place.
Yes. I can't remember the town Aki's from. Hold on, have you got that map in Narza handy?
Should be in campaign notes. Should be in campaign notes 2. Yeah, it's
I'm
in.
an idiot, sorry.
It might be. Is it? No. Or is it? I don't know. It's somewhere. I'll grab it in a second.
It's the Druid city, right at the north, right on the northeast of Narza. Illendon?
Illidan, yeah, I think that was it.
Okay. Yes, because yes, I have travelled very far from a place called Illendon and over in Narza, trying to figure out the meaning behind bizarre sounds and visions I've been getting. And I assumed that, given their work from back home, they assumed the place that answers could possibly be found were the shores of Karmora. And thus I hope that the Druidic tribes of this land may find the answers the Druidic tribes of my land couldn't.
So you seek the tribes, then? Not specifically the druids?
Well, no, I do seek those more experience in their Druidic arts than I.
Possibly. What do you hope to gain from these tribes, then?
Well, an answer, essentially. You see, I was living a perfectly simple, contented life back home when my mind was filled with incomprehensible noise and movement, and I found myself acquiring this. And he will sort of unbutton like one of the buttons on the middle of his shirt and pull open to show his funky tattoo. See, and he goes like, and with assistance from the wise elders back home, they were able to elucidate 3 words from the cacophony. Sky, sea, and green, and so we added them together and assumed sky, well, anywhere on the planet, sea, and then sea and green, that gave us the jungles of Karmora. Hence my expedition here.
Well, those words are broad and can mean many things. things. The sea is deep, the green of the trees permeate much of this land, and yet you can put a lot of things in a sentence. The sky and sea are blue. The green grass is not, you see? How did you get these words?
I didn't get them. They were given to me. I started hearing them pound in my head from a night of tempestuous dreaming, and they've never truly left.
Visions and dreams, you say?
Yes, it was the certain domain of expertise of my my training. Yes.
And do you know what tribe you need to speak to uncover this secret?
I do not know. Very few was revealed to us, and we were going off assumptions that the forces and the spirits would have revealed something upon embarking on this certain aspect of whatever plan is that there is, but
I see.
it hasn't befallen yet. I only have those three words and hope, essentially.
What are you doing here, then? Where are you heading?
Well, we were going to head into the Mirage.
The Mirage. I
Yes,
see.
we were planning a thorough expedition there, spending a considerable amount of time searching for answers or those who could help bring the answers.
Well, your path is true, I can tell you that. The Mirage is the most heavily druidic influence in all of Karmora. There are major tribes that reside in there too. Depending on what it is that you seek, in the method that you seek it, you might need a different clan, depending on that.
Writing notes, hold on. It's in Karmora.
I guess while Ed is writing, are people just listening in, or? I know you. Well, I guess you'll continue talking.
Once again, I'm muted, for fuck's sake.
Whoops.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Oopsie.
Yeah, can I check to see? We seem alone, but is anyone else watching us?
Make a perception check.
So this is gonna be the rules today, okay?
You are enthralled with this odd gentleman.
Freaking. Where's the bird?
The bird's just standing on his shoulder. On the man's shoulder.
Can I see if Daz can communicate with me?
You mean Daz didn't like follow you through, or
No, we had him with the cart.
okay? What's the range on the telepathic? It's a mile, right?
Let me double check. Opening up my character sheet. Why is it so slow today?
Because it's roll 20 and this is tradition.
It is. I'm gonna post it here in case someone can read faster than I can.
100 feet of you.
Oh, I thought it was longer.
So did I.
You need a feat for it to be longer.
Ah.
Or like a warlock pack thing. Nori had it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check the Warlock Pact thing, because I know he took one. Pact of the Chain? Nope, does not say anything for that. Investment in the Chain Master, maybe?
You doing your note taking there, Ed?
Possibly.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So I was also updating my bio because I found I found which city we said from when Mev gave him the plate from there.
Mm-hmm.
It's Illinson in northeast Naza. Okay. Yes, he is finished.
Looks like it is just the 100 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, and so Chris would go to Bomir and say and what of yourself? I hope I don't impugn on us as the host to the hosted, but from what tribe do you hail? We are still quite a distance away from the Mirage.
First man, to answer your question, Havelock, I would say you're probably a bit further than 100 feet.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. Bomber just sort of like smiles slightly. Just, I follow no tribe. I am one with the old world, so to speak. I guard the mother of this glade, and that is my duty.
So you're a hermit.
That is what some people may call me. However, from time to time, the spells that protect this place falter, and I get visitors such as yourselves. So, in some ways, yes. In others, no.
Is that why we were able to come here? I thought you like sensed Aki or something.
Unfortunately, no. The old magics that keep this place hidden have unfortunately begun to waver as of late. I assume because the Glademothers is approaching her time.
What's going to happen when she kicks it?
Well, by that point, I too would have probably moved beyond the barrier. God, what thing, third one?
Yes, we were back on the road the other day. We were assaulted by a living plant-like creature. It seemed to be some kind of drake, but entirely made up of gnarled and twisted vines. Would it have any connection to the magics and the arcane imprint of this place?
Once upon a time, maybe. However, the magics only extend to this forest.
And of this Mother of the Glade, it's not a genuine woman, is it?
It would depend on your perspective, per se.
Well, is it a person, a humanoid, as I am to you, or is it something more beyond reckoning?
It is both, and yes, it is neither.
So beyond reckoning, then?
Again, that depends on your perspective. Once upon a many year ago, she used to frolic around. Now she merely slumbers, biding the remaining days that she has.
So it's a 3-person.
Yes, exactly. And he just sort of looks up at the hollowed out tree.
And yeah, he sort of looks at the hollowed out tree and just goes,
That's not the mother, is it?
It is. It is.
You must give her my apologies for
I'm going inside, Tutter.
climbing inside her without permission. I am deeply sorry. I was unaware.
You're not the first to make use of the Glademothers' body for shelter. I'm sure you will not be the last. And when she departs, I'm sure what remains of her shall give shelter to many of creature and man.
When is she going to die?
When nature wills it. As nature
Then
always does.
will it make a new one?
She has sired children of her own, cast off into the winds. As for if they will grow like her, again, only nature decides that course.
Huh. Freaky.
Well, it's the ebb and flow of life. It comes for us all. It's like trying to dam a ever-raging river. You can attempt it, but it must always find its course. Besides, once she passes beyond the veil, will that be it for her kind, or is there other beings like her?
There are many like her. They reside all around Karmora and beyond. Many simply bide their time. Others, like those in the Muradon tribe, actively aid. Once upon a time, the Glademother sought to lead and shepherd, but as time went on, she allowed the natural order to take course.
It is tragic, but something that must always arrive. So, there is no way of reversing it. She isn't dying of some pest. She isn't. It's not some pestilence that will take her. It is just the ravages of time. Yes.
I believe it may be a mixture of both, be it pestilence or be it time.
And there's no way of reversing it. Perhaps recapturing some of the luster of her youth.
Why would she want that? She's simply following her course, as we all do.
Of course, but yes.
I do not blame you for thinking of that. Many people would call me and the Glademother old-fashioned in our ways. For us, nature's rule is law. Nothing should be done to change that natural order. This is why we hide. For man has always been at war with nature ever since the disbanding. They take from the land for their roads and cities, not letting nature and the world go as it is. So we hide. And we will continue to hide until the Glademothers' magic finally expires, after which they may do as they wish, for we will be beyond the point of caring.
How long have you been alive?
The passage of time is odd. After a certain amount of time, you begin to lose track. I couldn't say for a fact, but I believe I was very young when I walked into the Glademothers' embrace. Very young. He seems like deep in thought, as if he's trying to rack his brains and try and think back to some old memories. Afraid I cannot say. Most of my life has been spent here. I know not much of what has happened outside of this forest.
But you know the disbanding.
Well, I've had a priest or two seek shelter around here. They have told me stories, and I wasn't born here. I grew up in a small town. Yes, a small town. It's rather religious. They taught about the disbanding, about how the gods wish various things upon us, but the years have made my memory hazy.
Can I ask a stupid question?
Yes.
What's the disbanding? Have we been told about the disbanding before?
Yes. It is a very common thing. You don't need to do a history check for it.
Okay.
When Karmora was first formed, there was the Alliance, which was a wide variety of gods who helped create Karmora. However, over time, they began to squabble and essentially try one-upsmanship on their creations, being the mortals. And it all came to the head when some of the lesser gods, who were not given permission to create their own beings, cursed the races that they created with things like pestilence and war and aging and all of that. And that's caused an event called the disbanding. essentially a war amongst the stars, where God was set upon God. Alliances were formed and dissolved. Betrayals were rampant, and it only ended when, after Karmora suffered a glancing blow during a particular battle, the god Kalis awoken to his true power and cast them all into another plane, sealing them behind the divine barrier. And from that point on, the gods could interact, but at a very limited level.
Okay. Thank you. I have a brain like a sieve. And yeah, Chris could say like,
Wait, but doesn't okay? Like there's not a possibility you're older than the disbanding, right?
Say that again, didn't work out, chat.
I say like, yeah, Aki kind of just looks at Bomir and says,
I apologize, but there's not a likelihood you're older than the disbanding, is there?
God, no. The disbanding is something that everyone is typically taught. And as I say, I've had a priest or two take shelter, and they've told me of their various teachings. And I myself was taught of the disbanding in my village. But that is the past.
Have you met any threats recently with the magic fading? We couldn't have been the only folk who have seen the forest, perhaps enterprising woodsmen or those who wish to exploit its resources may have spotted it as well.
There have been, in which case I and the denizens of this forest fight back.
Was the fellow upon your head one of those denizens?
It's a bear pal he's got, not a feather.
I said the fellow.
Oh. No, he is simply the eyes around. He warns us on if anyone malicious were to arrive.
Did I? And your headwear, Bomber head, was that a dear friend or an adversary?
A dear friend who gave his life so that I may continue to live. His offspring now help protect the glade.
Hold on.
Lore.
Pretty much.
Localized lore too.
I know, right? It's very specific. A lot of this stuff of the Glademothers. Yeah. Well.
Fucking Tom, this is a fantastic way to introduce
To
This
introduce
is
what?
so good. Dryads.
Ah. That's why you said
This
me
is such a good
screaming.
way. Probably like the best way you could have done this.
What can I say
It's like-
except
yeah.
you're welcome?
Yeah, thanks.
Well, Bomber, you have my deepest admiration, both for the cause you fight and for the kindness you have shown to complete and utter strangers. I suppose your sparrow friend must have a good eye for judging folk.
From what he told me, you knew our special language.
Yes, it was something it's something I have acquired. For you see, where I come from, Druids hold a certain esteem in society, and I was trained with them under the guidance of my grandfather, who was a good man, much like yourself. Preferred to protect the sanctity of nature than dwell within the villages of those who would despoil it. And he taught me a great many things, including the language, the Druidic language. I owe him much.
What was his name?
Let me make sure I have the pronunciation of it. His name was, he goes,
Aurelian Betulia, his name was.
Right.
He was the one who sent me on my way. In fact, he was the one who deciphered who picked out those 3 words from the cacophony. He was the one who suggested Karmora, and he was the one who created the transportation that brought me here.
And of what tribe was he?
Hold on. Tom,
Yes.
presumably I'm a circle of dream druid, so that makes that like Aurelian would have also been trained in that as well. So what sort of tribe are the dream druids?
In regards to...
Okay. I'm sorry. I think. Actually, hold on. Does
I mean, if you're not 100% sure, consider this a
Yes.
blank check for you to write your own thing for whatever tribe your grandfather was in.
Okay, so just make up a name, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find something.
While I was doing that, does anyone else do anything?
I'm just fascinated by what's occurring.
Hmm.
Okay, hold on. Is that a good name? Hold on.
If you want, I could give you one, Ed.
Is that pronounced Somni?
Somni, yeah.
I mean, it's your character backstory, man. You
Oh,
decide.
my. Yeah, it is up to you.
I know. Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Yeah, Aki, yeah, and so Aki will go. A particular tribe my grandfather was a part of is known as the Somni, from the forests of northeastern Naza.
And what were these tribes like? What would they specialize in?
They were they specialize in the land of dreams. They knew that they specialize in the power of the mind and perception and the flow of life and energies from the sapient consciousness into that of the living world. The tribe specialized in the tribe tended to be more disparate. They didn't group together. They preferred isolation and the enlightenment that can come with solitude.
And you seek a similar tribe, or do you simply seek tribes?
Well, I seek those who would have a similar specialization in the power of the mind, but the power of the land of dreams and worlds beyond. But I am not so unimaginative to assume that they would all function the same as that from my homeland. So I know you see we knew very little of. My family also happened to run a trading company in the nearby city of Illinson, but when we traded with certain ports of this land, but apart from
He raised his hand to stop you. I care not for what man does.
of course.
But if you seek tribes, what your tribe specializes in, it explains it. They are, not to say in an insulting manner, but they are weak, for they have spread themselves too thin. Isolation, the mind, dreams. By spreading themselves thin, they themselves weaken the power nature has over them. So, if you seek a tribe similar, but more in tune, there are a handful south of here, beyond the Mirage and the Everglade. The Miradon are one such clan. They are about the dreams of nature, of nature's desire. If you desire more involved with isolation, you head south to what man call the Cobbles, for the Ilfim tribe. There they spend their days in isolation, listening to the voices of nature. There's other tribes as well, however, based on your tribe's specialty, those two are a good start.
Hold on. So much fucking lore. Hold on.
Hey, look, it's a thing that you all love and hate. You love it because you love to hear it, you hate it because then it's remembering.
Where did you say the Muradin were?
In the Morag.
And what was the isolation tribe again, sorry?
They are the Ilfim tribe. They reside in the Cobbles, which I will just move us over to the map. I think, do I have it written down on here? Yes, I do.
Sorry, you watch Aki's eyes glaze over as he enters all this information into his mind palette. Isolate themselves. Okay. Yeah, so. Yeah, he goes. Well, that's. My friend, you have certainly given me an exceedingly vast amounts of information and leads to go beyond. Now that I won't be. Now at least we have a name and not just hacking through the jungle and assuming destiny finds us. May I ask, out of a pure curiosity, what is your specialty?
Sort of like leans back against a tree and just ponders on that question. I suppose I take after the Glademother. I shepherd those within this forest to their destination, to their destiny. And I make sure that those within the forest are protected from those that wish to harm it.
And in that respect, I thank you profusely for seeing our ragged band as friend, not foe. From your command of this realm, you may have the power to render us to a certain finality.
Chris, my friend, you are right now in the middle of the glade, in the center of this forest. If you were a threat, this would have been the best place to bring you. Surrounded at all sides by the denizens of the forest. This is the best place for both friend and enemy. But, worry not, for the Glademother has considered you a friend.
I am. We are exceedingly blessed by that. Now, if we are to make a camp or use your glade as something of an overnight camping site, would we be able to perhaps take a small amount of the resources of the forest for building campfires or procuring certain herbs, or
If you can find them, most certainly.
all right. I was worried what ill fate would befall us if we were to take without asking. Well,
Yeah, Aki will sort of turn to the rest of the party and say,
well, it looks like we've found a friend in the wilderness then.
Spooky, funky. I like it.
Indeed.
How late is it?
It's mid-afternoon.
Okay. Well, do you want to stay here, Aki? We still have a ways to travel.
True, yes. Oh, one moment. Bomir, my dear fellow, are you are you or the Glademother or the forest itself in want of anything that we could provide, any items or services needed rendering?
So, like, looks at the hollow tree for a little bit. No, I believe that we are satisfied with what we've been given.
What do you mean, typical capitalist?
Maybe we can give something to you, you ignorant savages.
I mean, he does. His family does run an international trading business. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I suppose Aki's sort of saying like, well, you are just in the forest in the middle of nowhere. You sure don't need anything from the outside world.
Fucking yeah, exactly.
It's like
Said Druid
Exactly.
said Druid has also said, like, essentially, well, you were after like, oh, maybe we could help the Glademother, and he's like, no. She dies, she dies.
Of course, yeah.
Oh my god, that bitch is dead.
Oh my god. Yes, Geisha. Wasn't he with the doll in that line?
I'm just thinking of Luskisa. That's not the name.
It is Keisha, isn't it? Oh my gosh.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, I think like Chris will go and when the time comes for us to move beyond the glade, how do we exit it the same way we came in?
When you leave the forest, you shall leave the magics as well.
Oh, poor Glademother. Also, you have no idea how much I regret not having talked to plants.
Yeah, it's a really good spell for druids.
It's a fucking awesome spell. I just learned that.
It's an amazing spell, and you don't have it.
I'm a shit druid, okay? Leave me alone.
Yeah, you are.
I mean, I can see really well, but
Ah,
no,
You couldn't see the spells that would be good for you. But
Fucking... Okay. Yeah. I think a critical say. Well, nightfall hasn't come upon us quite yet, and we still have quite a journey ahead of us before our destination. So unless my other companions would have any other business, I suppose we shan't be staying the night here.
very well.
did you say shall or shan't?
Shan't.
Okay. I was about to be like, what the fuck, priest? What did we just say?
Sorry, you. Yeah. His posh sometimes gets a bit incomprehensible. Yeah. If we ever return through this way, there's no other. Is there a possible way of regaining access to the glade?
Should the Glademothers feel willing to welcome you, she will let you in.
Alright. Well, I am truly honored that our paths of life resulted in our meeting, and you have given us an inordinate amount of information to work with. But I believe we have a certain amount more miles to cross before the day's end. So unless my friends have any other questions or dealings, this may have to be goodbye, at least for now.
He sort of like looks at the rest of you, sort of inviting any further talk if need be.
It was nice to meet you. And your sparrow. And the, Glademother? Tree Mother?
She goes by many names. I simply call her the Glademother, as this is what she calls her home.
Glademother, then.
Thomas,
Yes?
would I have heard of a glade mother or a creature similar to a glade mother from back home, like he talked
God,
about?
I fucking hope so.
Make a nature
that he's
check.
talking about.
Oh my god.
Well, be a good druid.
Here comes a natural
Yeah.
one.
Yeet. Oh, okay.
You know that with some druids, they sort of... Most of them just sort of reside in the forest, but you know a few that tend to reside around glades. You're not too sure particularly with that one, because they're completely different tribes, but you typically know that the bigger tribes are more guarded
Jesus.
when it comes to the glades.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like Glade Mother, you get the feeling that's more of what Bonnier is calling it.
Got it. Okay. Goes like so. Yeah. Has anyone else got anything? Has anyone else got anything? Maybe questions to ask Boromir, or to have a little roam around the glade or anything?
I'm just seeing because there's been some typing. My dies will like suddenly appear in the middle of nowhere. Bonnier just looks confused at you, Kill. It's like I don't know. I've not experienced death yet.
I suppose that's a fascinating question. What is the exact nature of this place? Is it off this plane, or have we been transported somewhere else?
It is of the plane. It is merely illusionary magics. Camouflage, so to speak.
All right.
And we've had lots of conversations.
So it's
just because multiple things here.
sorry.
So if Alex he just sort of smiles and says, "You can thank the Glademothers for the grass. Good berries. Simply sort of like reaches into like the pouch and pulls out like a handful of them. You mean these?
Hold on. Oh, actually, well, can I roll something to know to figure out if I know what good berries are?
Oh my god.
Make another nature check.
See, well,
At the whole you can thank the Glade Mother for that, Mev's brow furrows. Would the forest go with the Glade Mother?
No, the Glademothers guides the forest. However, once she eventually passes, the forest must choose its own path.
I see. Whew, okay.
The protective
I was
magics would go
worried.
and it would be on its own, subject to whatever nature or man has for it.
Okay. I suppose that's understandable. I was just, concerned that, she goes, and then everything, you know.
And so, and does your power come from the Glademothers? So if she departed this realm quite before her time, would your power fade with it?
No, my power comes from nature itself. Just like how yours does, young Aki.
Fascinating. Ooh, that's an interesting character, actually.
And you know what good berries are. So it takes you a split second before you realize, like, oh, wait, I can do that as well.
Actually, hold on, can I? I don't think I've got good berry yet, have I?
Druids know all this. Druids are one of those classes that know every single spell they can, ain't they?
Yeah, but I don't think
Yeah.
I've got two. I don't think I've got. I don't think
You
I've,
don't
I've
have
only
it-
got level 3 spells.
It's a level 1
a
spell.
level 1 spell.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh, yeah, I can get good berries. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and so Aki will sort of turn to Havelock and say,
You know, I'm sure they have all manner of fruits and berries in this glade. I'm surprised you asked for one as simply procured and somewhat tasteless as good berries.
Somewhat tasteless. Let people have their fucking good berries, Aki. Fuck.
"He's a rich prick. Leave him alone."
I'm not a twig, and besides, if you wish for good berries, you can simply ask. I can also procure them.
He was jealous, that's why.
Yeah, just Bomir just has his hand out for people to grab any good berries that he has.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll have a good berry.
Okay. So those that want good berries, grab them. Aki, you're actually the last one to grab one, and as he does with his other hand, he sort of like reaches out and just like grasps your wrist tightly. A warning
Oh.
then before you leave, young Aki. The Muradon protects something very important to them. They will hear you out. But to go near their home will be your demise. He let goes of your wrist and moves away the rest of the berries.
Well, wait, did you say will be our demise or their demise?
Will
Your
demise, referring to you.
Oh, lovely. Okay. Yeah, and Aki will go,
Duly noted. I don't think it's spooky. There's something comforting in it, I suppose. I suppose in another life, I may have spent my life protecting a similar place.
With Alex mentioned, it's like, there was a bird. It flew out of the forest. It came back with a twig. That is about all the stories that I have. I tend not to leave this forest.
what was his story, sorry?
He saw a bird fly out of the forest and come back with a twig. No, that was how my friend here learned how to make nests.
Yes. Well, Palmer, you've been a fantastic host, and we deeply appreciate the hospitality, but I fear we must be away.
And Aki will sort of start picking himself up from sitting cross-legged on the grass.
Yes, of course. Merely pick a direction, and the Glademother will ensure that you return to your horse.
Yes.
Hold on, let me think. Okay, look, I'm gonna do, yeah.
May the Glademothers' passing be peaceful and undisturbed.
And then in Druidic, he'll say,
May we meet again.
and he will sort of start, and he'll sort of look over to the rest of the group and say,
Well then, shall we be off then?
Yep, sounds good.
To answer the question on how the good berries taste, relatively sweet, slightly warm, but beyond that,
Tasteless, my ass,
Oh,
you
oh,
twig.
Before we go, a more simple, pragmatic question. Has the Glademother ensured that nothing untoward has happened to our horse?
Nothing has approached, so your horse is safe.
What kind of question is that?
Superb.
good berries are, yeah, that's quite funny actually. Yeah, Aki only can make inferior good berries. They still do all the effects, they just don't taste very nice.
Meh berries. Meh
Alright berries, yeah.
Okay. So I assume that you all leave the forest, or leave the glade, I should say.
Question to our friend here. How do we leave?
He just sort of indicates to the forest around you. Pick a direction and walk.
Hell yeah, I'm going this way and Havelock starts walking to the west.
Guess I'm going that way.
Let me go. Just for difference's sake, let me go this way,
And he'll walk sort of north out of the glade.
Okay. So you all, I assume, go various directions.
Sorry,
funsies.
Glademothers, to make you look annoying.
As you sort of enter the forest, you do notice that it darkens a lot more. And you start to feel slightly disorientated. It only lasts for about a minute or two. And then the forest begins to light up a bit, rather quickly, mind you. And eventually, as you exit the forest, you kind of like look to your left and right, and you realize the rest of your party is maybe between 30 to 100 feet away from you.
She's like, fucking stay together, bitches.
And a little bit further away, you can see Crispy, Dawes, and the cart.
Hey, Mev.
Yeah. What's up?
Do you want to scare Aki?
Depends how.
I could turn you invisible and then you can go boop.
Okay.
Havelock just bends down and boops her on the nose, casting invisibility.
See, this gives me advantage, but I don't know how well this is gonna go.
On one side, you're invisible, so you get advantage. On the other side, it's Aki.
Yeah,
And it's me.
Although I think both. I think this is how he would be, and also it's funner this way. Aki is sort of he's not he's sort of like almost walking to the car on autopilot. He's not really focusing. His mind is awash with all the information that Bomir has given him and like all the
So you're
possibilities it
offering
holds.
to do disadvantage? Okay.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, advantage versus disadvantage. Let's do this.
All right.
Actually,
Let's
fucking
would it be
go.
a straight roll? Because you're wearing heavy armor, aren't you, Mev?
Yep.
So it's a straight
So
roll.
it's normal for me.
And then what do I roll? Disadvantage perception.
Yes.
Oh god. Hold on. Where's perception? Yeet.
Even with a natural one.
Hold on.
Oh no, that. Does that
There we
count
go.
as a crit fail?
Crit
No.
fails.
Fucking kidding
Oh,
me.
Fuck you.
Crit fails only apply on attack rolls, unfortunately.
Hush, Tom.
Oh, don't rules lawyer this, Thomas.
It's a Dungeon Master's game. Fuck the rules.
And I tend to use a lot of the raw rules, so...
That's funny. God. Fucking Christ.
Yeah, you just hear clink, clink, clink. You hear like the slight rattle, jingle of like chain.
You get close.
Yeah, Aki
you,
was
you get to about 10 feet before he notices.
Yeah, I could be walking back and thinking. Well, you could hear him sort of muttering to himself, and then he sort of like just thinks, goes, "Bugger up! I dropped something," and looks for the clinking sound, and then turns around.
Mev immediately stops in place.
Would it be another
What do you
roll to see if I can see her?
Well, you can't see me, but you could sense me, I guess.
You know the rough direction, you can make another roll, and Mev, if you're not moving at all, then I'll let you get the advantage on the stealth check.
Sweet, okay.
Yeah. Now that I'm sort of noticing, like, what's going on behind me? Let's do it. Do we do another perception versus stealth?
Yes.
It's just silly.
Wow.
Oh my god! Mev!
Do I bother?
You can't. Even if you roll a natural one. So you just like stand there looking around, and then you just hear a small sneeze.
There you go, 27. That's great.
Fuck.
Now, either Havelock has put some sort of invisibility spell on you, or you somehow displeased the Glademother and she's made you minuscule. So
Yes, I am
tell, which-
really tiny.
Havelock is keeping concentration on this for the full hour.
Oh my god.
And Aki will basically go, we'll say,
Yes,
Well-
yes.
well, will you be okay to make it to the cart under your own steam? Since at your perspective, a mere 50 yards must be 50 miles for you.
Small question, Aki. What's your armor class?
armor class. Oh
Yes.
dear, why?
Just asking.
He wears hide armor, so His armor class would be light, I think.
No, your AC. I mean,
Oh, that AC. My AC currently is 15. Hold on, 15. Hold on. Do I have my shield on me? 1 second. Hold on, let me check something. Sorry. Oh no, it's 50. Hold on, because shield's +2.
Yeah.
And then hide armor is AC 12. And then I've got one. Oh yeah, 15. Yeah, yeah. AC 15.
okay, good.
Is it?
You feel a sudden rough shove behind you. Mev, you just kind of watch as from Aki's shadow, Valkyr sort of like appears, just does the equivalent of like put his fingers to his lips and then just shoves Aki forward.
Oh!
Yeah, Aki will. I'm guessing he's a strong dude, Valkyr, isn't he?
He shares the same stats as Mev, so yeah.
So yes.
He's a beefy
Okay.
shadow.
So hold on.
He has a +6 to attack. He definitely, and he used a shove attack on you, so you just go flying like 10 feet forward.
Yeah, I go arse over tea kettle down the hill towards the forest.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that does dispel the invisibility, because I'm pretty sure it goes away when you attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't say you would shove him that badly.
I thought that was what you were intending to do.
But I was going to like jump on his shoulders.
I cannot do such a thing, so this is the best bet that you've got.
I do love Valkyr just like, yes, I killed him. A funny prank, yes.
Yeah, Mev will run over to Aki. Oh, Aki, I'm sorry.
Will I have taken some damage from that?
No. Shoving
Okay.
attacks don't deal damage. They simply shove you 10 feet away, I think. It's 5 or 10.
I'm sorry.
And then Aki sort of looks back towards the forest and whispers in Druidic, which Mev wouldn't be able to understand. Basically says, "What have I done to offend you, Glademother?"
Do you need to be lightning lured up?
No, I'm fine. I may have been pampered more than most, but I know how to pick myself back on my feet.
Are you sure you didn't know how to start a bath when you were like 10?
That was a joke, I assume. And Aki will sort of pick himself up and say, "Oh, Mavale, you're back to normal." I suppose.
Mev pauses for a second.
I suppose that somehow the wrath of the Glademother was transferred from you onto me. Hence my discombobulation and sudden fling towards her, and you're returning to normal proportions.
He just stares at you for a second. Is he being serious?
Yes. You forget he still rolled a 9 on perception.
She just slowly nods.
Valkyr's also still there. Obviously, like, he doesn't have any, like, facial features, but you just kind of get the sense that it's like, if he did have a visible facial features, they'd look so confused right now.
Yeah, Mev's fucking confused.
Aki, did you hit your head? Do you want me to carry you back?
No. I'm quite all right.
Are you sure?
Yes. Okay, let's just get further away before we inadvertently annoy her further.
Maybe it was just prank?
No, I think I very vaguely know things that could be called Glademothers, and they don't seem to have the greatest senses of humor.
You know, she was probably insulted by your Goodberry comment.
What did I say about
Oh,
goodberries?
you did call them tasteless.
Well, it wasn't so much insulting. They're a perfectly fine berry, but you had all the options of every fruit in the cornucopia, and you went for one of the most easily procurable ones.
Maybe you hurt her feelings, Aki.
I may have.
He doesn't know how to talk to women.
Gaslight gatekeep.
God, boss. Fuck. Oh, this is such a good little fucking. If Aki suddenly can convince himself that like a dryad now hates him for no reason. Yeah, I think Aki will go.
Well, I suppose we should probably make haste then before find somewhere suitable for camp further along the road once we've eaten up more miles.
Right.
Okay. So you get back onto your horse. You continue to head off. After a few minutes, you sort of instinctively look back to where the forest is. And you scan the horizon. You don't see the forest anymore. It's almost as if it was never there. You know it is there, but you assume the Glademother has reenacted her magics onto the place again and has hidden it from the world. You urge Crispy on ever forward for the remainder of the day. And we're going to take a small break from that point.
Oh, thank fuck.
Hey!
So does anybody do anything for the remainder? Because the remainder of your day is uneventful. You only get a few more hours to travel. So
No, but I will produce a campfire question.
Yeah.
So we won't do anything on our travels, but I will pull out the form.
Oh Jesus.
So hope you've given me some good ones, guys.
Have you not checked?
I see that Ed and Anna have not produced anything.
Sorry.
A one-hit wonder, thank you.
Shame.
Busy.
Luckily, we have 4 questions.
Oh my god.
Just give me a second. Ed and Anna, produce questions. Someone pin that.
Do you want this question to be from me out of character or from Aki?
You have the option in or out of character. And then it has a question of like, would you like to ask this question?
Oh god, okay, this seems forced.
But I will use one of the existing ones right now, and I'll roll a d4. Three. Okay. So that is...
Do they have to be sensible questions?
No.
Awesome. I'm gonna throw a bunch of shitty ones in there.
I will DM the person in question to ask if they would like to introduce this. Even though they said no, I will ask just in case. Do. Is that you asking me that question, Ed?
Yeah.
This is something that I do just for you guys.
Alright.
Most of the time, in Finders, we are too emotionally racked with guilt.
Jesus.
Ah.
It just seems a bit
All right.
heavy-handed.
Well, it's a good way to just keep in mind things, and I won't do it every time we have a campfire, but I will just spring randomly, like, hey, you guys produced this question. But yeah, I have messaged the person in question. They said that they would like to introduce it. So you can start at any time.
I think I know who it was that asked that question one.
Yeah.
Just a hunch.
Oh.
From what that sounded like, yeah.
If you want to compartmentalize it down to the level of nonsense, then yes. I True, but you forget the area in which my certain druidic tribe specialize. Strange dreams and visions and overwhelming sights and sounds is rather alarming to us. And plus, having them and then awaking with whatever the hell's been seared on my chest is cause for concern. Yes, and they deduce that some force of nature or some god trapped beyond must have a hand in it, and there must be a path laid out for me, and so we assume it's here. So yes, I had dreams, but they were so much more. Imagine the sound of the loudest torrent of rushing water you can imagine, and then the howling and whooping of beasts that defy explanation, and then light and darkness and colors beyond eyesight, and then this bloody thing, and it's well, yes, all this happened because of a dream. It was much more than that.
You notice Mev is kind of looking at you strangely, Aki. Then she looks to Kindling. Well, I know that isn't happening to me, so I'm not too concerned.
I mean, you shouldn't be concerned either. So, like, it's not. My dreams aren't exactly telling me to murder you all in your sleep. They're just sounds and visions.
Are you sure about that, Aki? How can we trust that your dreams aren't about killing us?
Well, how can I trust yours are?
How can you trust me in general?
I don't. Well,
Smart man.
I suppose I don't mark you with so much suspicion as previously, but it's still there.
If you're suggesting this, why don't you go first, Kindling? What do you dream about? She pulls her knees together and rests her head on them, just looking at you as her hair sprawls over. What are the exceptions? Oh, that is weird.
What if Kindling's an elemental and we just don't know it?
Curious.
Maybe. Do animals count as elementals? No. No, I don't think so.
How do we know
Perhaps.
if we don't try?
Big bath thing. Like a tub? Not a
A
tub,
pond?
but
A lake?
yes.
Horse trough?
Oh, I've fallen in one of those before.
They're surprisingly cold.
Weird.
Maybe you're supposed to be a sacrifice to a water elemental.
Fascinating. Perhaps.
Aki sort of looks very deep in thought and sort of muttering to himself.
The nature of dreams are metaphorical and anecdotal. So perhaps seeing this surface level reading of kindling as actually an elemental is perhaps not helpful. It may be more. It may be using more of a literary device. In saying that you are being stabbed by the direct implement you will be using for this elemental, perhaps it is suggesting that this quest you are on to harness the power of an elemental to open your book will also be your undoing.
Or maybe you're going to be betrayed.
Dun dun dun.
Well, I suppose it's something we.
Ah, because you have a book. That's funny, Aki. Very funny.
No, it's no. You don't think about it. The knife. The knife is one of the main thing. Is one of the main instruments that's driving his destiny forward. It's the implement with which he will achieve his fate. So being stabbed by it could suggest all manner of things, but none of them good. At least the way I read it.
You know what, Kindling? I'm gonna stop by your tent later on tonight. I want to talk with you. I'm not gonna stab you.
I do have to ask though, Kindling. Is it the front or the back that you're stabbed in? Is
Yes.
it like your stomach, your chest?
Is it in the back? Because that can mean something very much different.
Ooh.
The stomach.
Handle and all.
At least it means your end won't come from treachery.
It'd be an even worse betrayal.
Most commonly, people are betrayed from the front. But both literally and figuratively stabbed in the back.
Yes, but do you know how much it hurts to be the one to stab your friend in the stomach?
I don't, nor do I wish to never find out.
And before you ask, Kindling, no, I do not have actual experience with this, but I have seen it.
Mm,
Was it a frightful sight?
Eh. Maybe to you.
Nothing tells me a great deal of your experiences would be frightful to me.
mm,
Hell, you're conversing with your with whatever nature of being granted your powers I would probably be terrified to behold.
Mev rolls her head around.
Oh my god, Mevalu's become an
And-
owl.
I mean, you know what I mean.
Not the full 180
She-
like it.
Yeah, no. She looks over to Marine. Well, can Marine even ask that question? Or answer?
No. I do
You don't
not
have
dream
dreams?
or sleep. It is hard to grasp the concept of dreams as well. How do these visions come into one's mind when they are unconscious? I do not see how it happens or
Well,
understand it in a logical sense.
it has a number of reasons. Some say it's just the flickering of the senses, where that while we dream, we have nothing to perceive, and so our minds create things to perceive. But that rejects the existence of. To imagine our minds would just simply create visions out of nowhere is doing our creators a disservice.
Havelock just leans forward, knees on it, elbows on his knees, chin on his hands. You know, I think it's just a way we deal with the bullshit we run into.
Oh, it's a or their guides to deal with future bullshit.
I mean, who knows?
Well, no one.
We could
But,
try and ask the gods.
fuck the gods.
I wouldn't mind fucking a god.
She looks to Havelock. You. Go next.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Uh,
I'll be right back. I have to grab my food.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What's wrong with you?
should we wait for her to come back? Since she's the one that asked?
Depends how far away the food is.
Also, what's that Tom Warforge confirmed thing? I was focusing on something else, so...
No dreams.
Ah.
Fucking... Someone make a Megamind meme about that.
Yeah, this was your question, you forgot? I threw in like a good 6 or 7 really stupid or weird questions to ask, so I hope you guys like them. Did you put any in there, Ed?
I didn't know. I need to think of some.
Bastard man.
I mean, I
One-
can think of stupid questions, but like from Ed, not from Aki.
Well, they can be from Ed.
I mean, I need to think of some really boring, ponderous, like almost like philosophical academic questions from Aki.
Oh, yes, what's the best meal you've ever had?
That kind of thing, yeah.
Man. I added a couple of bathroom questions in there just for you, Ed.
What you mean? When was the last time you pissed yourself?
No, but wouldn't you like to know? Also, I'll be back. I'm gonna grab a knife.
Lucky.
Oh Jesus! That's never not terrifying.
Should we wait?
I mean, I think. Where did the whole Aki can't run a bath thing come from?
I don't remember.
Did I make a joke basically saying that you're so incompetent you can't run a bath?
No, I think it was something like, oh, I had like servants do all that stuff for me or something like that.
Okay, fair enough.
It's just a snack, no murder.
Okay.
Alright, burger and fries. Alright,
Richard? From where?
let's go.
From where? What burger and
I
fries?
made
you
it.
to? Oh, nice.
Yeah, handmade.
Damn.
Pretty fucking cool.
Alright.
Ooh, Buster. Okay.
Just to reconfirm, the question was, what is the weirdest dream you had?
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you want a traumatizing one? Do you want a sexy one? Do you want a spooky one? Do you want something kind of fun but weird?
We will leave that to you. What do you reckon the vibe is?
Havelock asked the group that.
Oh, okay.
Absolute weirdest. Absolute weirdest. Okay. Now sit
I
around,
suppose.
kids.
Most
So-
nonsensical.
It starts off at the ocean, per usual. For some reason, the ocean's not water. It's molasses.
What's molasses?
It's a really shitty food. That's very thick.
I love molasses. What are you talking about? It is delicious.
You are a fucking weirdo. I love you, Mev, but you're weird.
It's like
That's just
a really thick, tarry sugar. It's delicious.
Oh, right, yes. I
It
think
tastes like shit. Aki would probably love it.
it sounds like treacle. Okay.
Sounds like what?
Yeah, like soda.
Treacle, like a very sugary, sappy kind of thing. You put it in cakes and baked and tarts and baked goods and things like that.
He'd probably like it. Yeah. So, anyways, for some reason, it's all molasses. And then it's on fire. Next thing you
Right.
know, everything's on fire. The ship is sinking very slowly. Seahorses are flying through the air. And then I got woken up because someone kicked me in the head. It was Mevalair. Mevalair kicked me in the head again.
Listen, I just like to roll around on the bed and get comfortable, and sometimes that's, going upside down.
We're getting for beds next time. We'll push them together if we need to.
That is a pretty weird dream.
Right? What's the weirdest one you've had, Mev?
She, because I'm eating, she's like picking at some of her rations,
Havelock just wanted to eat too.
Yeah, and she has like a little bit of like jerky half in her mouth, and she just kind of stops for a second. She looks to be thinking for a second. Hmm. Probably. I don't know.
Well, since she doesn't know, I remembered another weird one. May I speak?
Go ahead.
How dare you?
Oh, you, Aki.
Sorry?
You were walking down the aisle in a pure white wedding dress. It was weird.
To whom was I being wedded?
Birch tree.
A sentient birch tree or just a tree in a forest?
It was just a tree. But they moved it into a nice little pot, and they painted it to look like a tuxedo. It's really cute.
Was it an arranged marriage or did it seem like it was a mutually beneficial one?
I have absolutely no idea. But Marine was being played like a pipe organ.
The surface level of... Why would you be trying...
That sounds painful.
And just to check, this was certainly from your perspective. You, through your own eyes, were watching myself get married to a tree.
Yeah. Mev and I were right there. We were your best man and your bridesmaid? I think
you were actively involved in the ceremony. You weren't just a third party. Interesting.
You wouldn't trust us to be in your wedding, Aki?
No. I'm trying to
figure out the meaning, you see. It's...
And Marine was the church organ, and you were the priest.
Right. Wait, I was the priest?
No, Kindling was the priest.
Interesting.
You were the bride, the tree was the groom, Kindling was the priest, Marine was the pipe organ, Mev and I were your best man and your bridesmaid, respectively.
Right. Fascinating.
It was only like a couple of nights ago that I had that. It was
So
after like the cannibal question, I think. Yeah, it was after the cannibal question.
Perhaps what it's saying is that one day you will have to take an active role in perhaps leaving me be, letting me be, have a sole duty to nature, much like Boromir, and it seems like I would have a level of blessing in that action. Or
Maybe you're just supposed to take care of a birch forest and we're supposed to be there to help you protect it.
perhaps, but
No way. Spending my whole life landlocked? Never.
perhaps it could be a floating forest or a mangrove swamp, or
Ooh, maybe it's a little island.
You know. We could get some seeds for some trees. We can go back to the cool forest and see if they'll give us some. There's a lot of uninhabited islands around here. We could just make one of our own. Maybe that's what you're supposed to do, Aki. I mean, you are a druid. Maybe you're supposed to make a new sanctuary. Start families. Start your own tribe.
Mev looks to Aki.
Aki
So-
genuinely looks. Aki looks a world away.
Aki.
Piss boy.
A crease.
Maybe that's why. But there can't be the reason. Yes.
A crease.
Look him in the ear.
Yeah. Yes. What?
What
is
about
it?
you? Is the vision the strangest dream that you have had?
Well, strange, incomprehensible. Yes, but to be deemed strange requires a certain level of understanding of it, and for its message to be confused and muddled. I did have one, I remember, from when I was young. It was... I remember walking down a forest path near where I lived, except there was smoke in the distance. As my attention was drawn by a rustle in the distance, I turned and saw a doorway in front of me and music. I didn't see the music, obviously, you can't see it. I heard the music and I walked through it and I was back home. Do you like the subtle keep Aki with it? Yeah, that was I was back home in the dining room. We used to clear the tables away and use as a board when functions. My family was there. I was 16 at the time. I had an uncle who passed away had passed away from illness a few years before, but he was there as well. And then I found a doppelganger, a version of myself. We went hand in hand and began to dance. For what feels like hours we danced. Then the music stopped and the room filled with darkness. All the candles blew out. Like one mighty gust from Karmora's lungs. And then everyone turned and looked at me with contempt and a murderous hatred in their eyes. Then, all at once, they moved, and I woke up.
As you were saying this, Aki, you can see Mev's interest just increasing and increasing, and that strange look on her face growing.
I have yet to honestly figure out what it means. So many bizarre symbols and signs. Why was family even dead members there? Why was I dancing with myself? Why was in the forest, and why was it burning in the distance? Perhaps some dreams are not meant to be solved. To keep us mere mortals on our toes and not expect to understand what the gods intend. So perhaps it's one of them, but I can never be sure, and it haunts me, frankly. It haunts me.
Maybe it's something you forgot.
Maybe. I intentionally chose not to log in my mind. Anyway, someone else, make it a happy one, for goodness sake.
I think we're all done. Can I talk to you?
Who are you talking to?
You.
And yeah, so Aki will go, well, yes, of course, you don't even need to ask. Does this need to be apart from the rest of them, or?
Privately. Yes.
Alright, well, lead the way, I suppose.
She pauses and she looks over to Havelock. How does Havelock look?
Havelock looks sad. Like you kicked a puppy.
She will lean in, give you a kiss on the cheek. I'll explain a little later. She gets up.
Havelock grabs her hand.
Hmm?
I want a hug too.
Oh, you're such a needy baby. Mev leans down and hugs Havelock.
Havelock keeping up the show of trying not to be a softie, just kind of like pushes her away. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Mev will lead Aki off. She doesn't stop at one of your tents. She goes a ways away into the forest that you're in, the grass, whatever.
And again, Aki does seem very, very much deep in thought, and like he's just sort of keeping behind you. He doesn't quite know where he's going. He's like just assuming you do and following you, but so he's not really paying much attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
Just a nice little walk in the woods, not gonna get stabbed.
Yeah, she keeps walking for just a little bit until you can still see the fire a little ways in the distance. You can hear the murmurings of people, the chatter, but you can't quite make it out. And
wait, as in where we are, or like is it coming from the camp back where everyone else is?
yes, coming back from the camp.
Oh, okay, so it's not just suddenly
Basically,
just
if
new
you
sounds.
can't hear them clearly, then that's what Mev wants.
Okay,
Is for you to not be able to hear them, because that means that they can't hear you.
okay.
She finally stops. It takes a couple of minutes, but she stops. And she just seems to just be taking in her surroundings. She trails her hands against the trees and the grass for a little while. And she sits. And she pats her side, you know, as if like, come here.
All right. Aki will sit down next to her.
She lays down.
Aki will stay sat, sort of in a loose, cross-legged, crisscross applesauce.
You dream. That is that all?
I have been known to dream. Yes.
But is that all?
Are you saying if I've had any lucid one?
Lucid visions, memories.
In a certain... Well, before I acquired the mark on my chest, no, but on a certain level in the corner of my perception, I'm always hearing to a certain extent, I'm always hearing the sounds and the cacophony and the sounds and the sights, like movements, as if there's always something behind you or something you're just catching in the corner of your eye. But it gets louder. It gets much louder, and it gets much louder at night, and it inhabits my very being like a river, as a river fills a lake. And then, as I come back to my lucid consciousness, it dissipates, but never leaves me. Frankly, to be quite honest, it took a while to get used to the constant. I didn't sleep for the first 5 days. I was afflicted with it, but...
She turns on her side and she rests her head on her hand.
Why?
That's been me all my life.
What do you mean?
The constant noise that you hear, but no one is really there. At least, not close enough. The visions that you can't seem to really get out of are constantly flickering. It's too much. But
Yes.
I think my thing's a little different from yours.
Well, I suppose you say that's noises when no one's there, but isn't Valkyrie always there?
Yes, but she pauses and she rolls back to look at the sky. I don't dream, Aki.
Whatever. Your perception when your nocturnal perception is just nothingness.
No, it's
Yes, please.
something else. It's not a dream. It's a memory, but it's not mine.
Wait. So, dreams are often built upon memories, or the building blocks of the stories they tell, but someone else's memories are. That's impossible.
It's what I've been like my entire life. They're not mine. I have memories of the past, visions that I know aren't myself. I'm not myself in them. I am larger. My hands don't match my own. I am in a place I've never been before. Never seen anything like it.
You sure it's firmly in the past and not in the present? You aren't transported somewhere once you've entered the dream world.
I don't know, but it feels like a memory. If that makes sense. It's
Well,
nostalgic.
Yeah, fascinating. Have you ever figured out the nature of Valkyr's bond to you? Perhaps it's his memories bleeding into your own.
Valkyr and I are of. She thinks about it. From what I can recall, Valkyr and I are of two minds, one body. If that makes sense. We
Of a sort.
Our hearts, our souls, are twins. They are. You know when someone is born and they have a twin, but they are stuck together?
Yes. Yes, I do. I remember there was a boy and a girl who was like that when I grew up. Neither of them survived, sadly, but I remember it.
That is what Valkyria and I are. Not physically, but internally.
All right. So
I
your consciousness shares the same vessel, but in that way, does Valkyr have control over your body? Can you, or is it purely he can only manifest through his shadow?
Well, his shadow is my shadow, isn't it? It's. I can't really explain much because I don't understand much. I feel like I used to know people like me, but I can't remember now.
I feel I'm sorry to ask this question, but is your mother your birth mother?
She pauses and she thinks for a moment. No, she's not.
So perhaps, and she didn't have the situation as you and Valkyr reside in?
Oh, she is an elf. She. You remember what I told you the other day about being lost at sea?
Yes. Is that how? Is that how your mother found you?
Mm-hmm. She found me in a wreckage.
Fascinating.
She took me in, fed me, clothed me, and I was her daughter. She loved me like her own.
That is genuinely remarkable. Truly. See, I haven't told you yet, but I too was found in a shipwreck. I don't know my true parentage at all either. I was, according to stories my mother told me, I was the last surviving thing aboard a shipwreck bound from a foreign land. She never quite found out. And all that was alive was a little baby half-orc wrapped in rags. That was me. Seems that some ill fortune had met the ship that had run aground on an island just off the shore of Illenden, and men from my parents' company had found it and investigated, and they found nothing but me. I was brought home, taken care for by the Aventores, and I became one of theirs. Then they formally adopted me. And
Have you kept anything from that? Did you have anything?
no, I didn't. There was nothing around my neck. There was no belongings. I was left wrapped in with me with the rags, just crying, emaciated child.
She, for once, actually takes off the choker that she, always wears. And she shows you it. This is what I had. Not the leather, but the pendant on it.
May I take a closer look? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
And then so Aki will take it and have a look at what the symbol is, or what's on the pendant.
Yeah.
What's on it?
It appears to be some sort. It's very abstract, like almost hieroglyphic.
Okay.
And it looks to be kind of almost like something is holding the moon up to the sun.
And you have no idea what these glyphs mean?
Not a clue. I don't really remember anything before the wreckage.
Interesting.
I remember my name. I remember Valkyr. And I remember Erzar. I'm not sure if that's actually where I come from, but it's what I remember.
The land far away, the Other edge of the other end of the horizon. That arrows are.
That's right. That's actually... Sometimes I wonder if the memories that I've seen come from there.
Perhaps. Now, have you been led to believe that you may be the only one in a situation like this? Because if not, then maybe if it is a people, like a people of this or a subset of peoples, it could be a case of some sort of shared collective memory.
I don't know. My mother said that she didn't find anyone else. That I had been out there for so long that any of the bodies had been decomposed and bloating. It
Oh,
No,
I always
don't
assumed
freak
you were.
out.
No. It's nothing to do with what you said. It was. I always just assumed that it was you and you alone on that route. I had no idea.
It
That's horrific.
It was a full wreckage. There was, debris everywhere and bodies floating up in the water. I guess I just kind of floated around on, a couple planks for a couple of days. Again, I don't remember. I was delirious, but
Yes, and you by and from the tales, you drank more water than in the great seas.
that's right. But that's why I just kind of assumed that there is no one else.
Would you, if it turned out there were others like you, would you endeavor to cross boundaries and the span of the world to find them?
I don't know.
Well, I suppose you want answers, don't you? That's why, for my own visions, in my case, that's why I'm here. That's why we're all here. So, the selfish goal, I will grant, of figuring out what mine mean. Wouldn't you enjoy the same treatment?
Maybe, but Mev just very gingerly takes the collar from you and she puts it back on. I came out here for she seems to clam up a little bit. I came out here for myself, to figure out myself. Not really looking for answers, just my mother she loves me and she's very protective. I didn't really get to explore the world despite traveling the seas. It was always right by her side, holding her hand, and I didn't come out here for answers. I just came out here to stand on my own 2 feet. And I'd like answers, you know. I would love to figure out what exactly I am and what Valkyr is and where I come from, and that would be amazing. But I don't want to break my mother's heart more. I mean, I already ran away from home and like ripped her heart out like the monster I am.
Can I, Mevela, correct me if I'm wrong, but your mother is still your mother, yes?
Yes.
And like any parent with a departed child, they would feel nothing but joy and relief to have them back. So, on a certain amount, I don't think she would kill you for leaving home. She made you after the fact, but in the moment, she would be overjoyed.
I don't doubt that my mother loves me and, you know, would want me back. Just I don't want to hurt her more than what I'm doing. What if I find answers and I change my mind and I decide, oh, I want to live in Erzar forever, or I want to live on an island with you and the others. Like that's not what they want. I planned on coming back, but I don't want to, you know, hurt her feelings.
But remember, we are not locked in on the life we lead. You can learn about yourself and your true nature, yes, of course, but you can still keep in contact and keep a relationship with the mother who raised you. And it's not an oxymoron, and they're not mutually exclusive.
She's sitting up at this point. She curls her knees back in and hugs them. I don't even know why I'm telling you all this. I haven't even told Havelock all of this. Actually, I haven't really told Havelock any of it. I don't, I'm not usually so needy. I apologize.
Trust me, Mevela. If I believed you excess of neediness, I would tell you. What this is not. It's not a burden. It's not something that should be demeaned and looked down upon. Everyone needs to confide. People need to have answers taken off their chest, and most people assume that those answers and that confidation can be given by those in similar situations. And so I said, yes, I have dreams and visions, and so you naturally assumed and thought that I could not only empathize, but perhaps provide insight.
She nods slowly. I thought you would understand it best.
I do. I understand the burden they can hold, the sense of having to answer so many questions. Why? What do they mean? Why do I have them? I do understand, and I hope one day we can find our mutual answers.
I hope so too. I mean, really, if all of this is said and done, you know, when we could probably like sail the sea together and try to find our long lost families, our cultures, you know.
Well, I suppose mine would entail
traveling the length of breadth of Karmora and asking every single half-orc, hey, are you missing a baby?
Have you seen this baby? He's very muscly. uh, have you noticed that though? The
What?
connection with us all.
In what way?
We're all connected with the sea. I mean, Kindling's not so obvious, but he dreamed of, a water elemental. There's something weird going on there.
Yes.
Havelock's the pirate, and Marine came from, the Marine.
Perhaps. Fate works in exceedingly strange ways. Perhaps kindred origins result in kindred spirits and something of a shared destiny to always be transient and perhaps connected to the sea itself, or I don't know. For I only went on a few boat trips as a child, and to experience it before, as I was beginning to learn the ropes from the family business. But if I'm to have any elemental marking, it would be the earth and the forest with the sea. It's curious, isn't it?
The earth works with the sea. They go hand in hand, right?
Yes, they do. I mean, the land is what makes the sea sea, and the sea is what makes the land land.
Exactly. But, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of weird. It was something that I noticed, and... Maybe it was a gift from the tides. That is something that, my mama says. Is that, the sea gives and it takes.
Well, in a literal sense, weren't you her gift from the tides?
She says that on occasion. She looks back up at the sky. It's probably really fucking dark, isn't it?
It's night at this point, yeah.
Yeah. You mind if, just lay here a little bit? Look at the stars, Hope the sky doesn't turn red. Actually, it's nighttime. The sky turning red would probably be good.
Well, that would be the sunrise, wouldn't it?
Oh no, you don't get it.
What's that? What do you mean? What's that to get it?
There's a saying on the sea. If the sky is red at night, it's a sailor's delight. The sky is red in morning, sailors take warning.
Right. So, interesting. And has that been shown to be true?
Oh yes. Hell yeah. Usually if the sky is turning, red in the morning or in the daytime, usually death is approaching.
Interesting. Well, I suppose here's to as many redless nights as we can gather.
No, red at night is good. Red in morning is bad.
Oh, apologies. But I'm sorry, I'm new to this.
Too many red nights and as few red mornings as possible.
That one, yes. I think what the pirate said. I'm a bit of a
Landlubber, I think it is.
Landlubber. Yar, me hearties. Should I fit that stereotype? I can do more.
I'm surprised you haven't buried the platinum we came with. Left another big X on the mark.
In this one? No way. This isn't good ground, you know.
Oh, it's exclusively on desert islands, is it?
Deserts are pretty good. Swamps, it gets moved around too easily, you see. The ground isn't very steady. Everything is, sinking or filling with water. Not good. Don't worry, you'll get that. And she lays back down.
Yeah, I think basically since she for the whole time Aki has been sat cross-legged next to her, but then when she asked him to lie down, he did. So they're sort of lying
Yeah.
and put the stars together, all cute. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
that was cute.
That was very cute. So what are we doing after that? Are we going back to the camp, or are we just going to fall asleep under the stars?
Up to us, I guess. I'm fine with falling asleep under the stars. I'm sure that Havelock will hunt down, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
Absolutely. Listen, Havelock's taking his little hand axe, he's taking Lucius, and he's going to hunt for them.
Fucking, I don't know. Is that fucking survival perception, Tom?
I would say perception because you are still within sight of the campfire.
Havelock, you piece of shit.
I mean, if you want to be extra cute, I suppose Aki, just lying there, Aki offers to basically lay his arm out, his left arm, or whatever arm on the side it is, so for Meb to rest her head on.
Fuck yeah, let's be super cute.
Yeah, so he goes, hold on, just sit up for a second, here you go, and he'll stretch an arm out and say, there you go, a bit of support.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
Fucking poor Havelock wandering the forest.
Wandering forest, eye patch lit up, slashing through random plants. I'll take my point of exhaustion now.
You spent the entire night?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh fuck! While this is going on, I need to fiddle with some
If that's
spells.
the
Hold on.
case, can't he roll again?
One.
Sure.
Wow.
Wow.
Probably wouldn't spot them, no. I probably
Yeah, I already added my point of exhaustion.
I would have given you it on a 10, but because I'm just going by the 1 to 9 fail, 10 above pass kind of thing.
How do you search all night and not find someone? At that point, you yourself are lost.
Pretty much. So if that's the case, I assume no one actually takes watch.
Whoops.
Oh fuck!
Well,
There's still 2
Goodbye.
people left at camp.
true, but that
Yeah,
means that there will be one occasion where there's no one looking because. Actually,
Not unless they do it separately.
yeah, they'd
I
have to
mean,
do it separately, basically.
I mean, Mevelair took Aki specifically somewhere where the rest of their camp couldn't hear them, so that's presumably what 5 miles.
No.
5 miles. No.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Aki, he can hear a pin drop.
perception is you've got good eyesight. You don't have satellite dish sized ears to hear everything within a 10-mile radius.
Druid level plus 30 bonus.
It's a great question.
10.
Do we have to do our own watch? I mean, I imagine Mev is already conked the fuck out. Is Aki gonna stay up?
Makes sense. He is allergic to women.
Aki is. I think Aki sort of is. I think Aki is a little bit more lucid than Mevla.
Okay, so
So
you're gonna take a watch.
Yeah, I go on them.
Okay.
I'll take a watch.
Okay, and I guess.
Although I feel like because like the fact that we're sort of, I guess, not really like we're not sat out, we're both sort of like lying back in the grass or something like that. And also, I'm trapped under Mevla.
It's an arm. You know, you could still like, lean
Should this be
sideways.
with disadvantage?
Yeah, I'd say so. But of course, you're Aki, so who the fuck else?
Yeah, that's 27.
Who the fuck cares? Yeah.
Okay.
And the bay.
And I guess Kindling and Marine, if you want to make your separate checks if you're doing watches.
Yeah, we'll be doing different watches.
See, you can't have a choice.
Yeah.
You know, at some point, does Aki just hear Havelock slashing about in the grass?
Yeah, actually, does Aki find Havelock instead?
He can't visually like see it, but he can definitely like hear it.
Please, God, save this man, Aki.
But he doesn't know if it's Havelock.
Yeah,
That's true.
Aki sort of just Aki puts his head up, here sort of thrashing about in the leaves, and just go, "Oh, it's probably just an animal," and just sort of lies back down.
Oh my god.
Yeah?
Holy shit.
He's not too wrong.
Okay.
Just
So,
in the wind, yeah.
eventually, the morning arrives. You do not appear to have been accosted during your time. Aki, your arm feels very dead at the moment.
That was an in-character yawn. Yeah, Aki. How heavy's Mev? If you don't mind me asking, if that's not too ungentlemanly.
Well, it'd only be her head, really. That'd be
How
resting
heavy's
on
her
you.
head?
Yeah. Well, Mev's total weight is 134 pounds.
Oh, okay. And Aki's
100
she's
of
not-
that is her hair.
Aki's
Yeah.
buff, so like, I suppose, yeah. Well, okay, tell you what. When do we each wake up, Mev?
Mev probably wakes up like early morning.
Yeah, although I feel like because we're out in the open and not intense or anything, it's almost like we get woken up by the sun.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, she wakes up in the morning, bleary-eyed. The sun's right in her face and she's just squinting. Holy fuck, that's the sun. Ah. Mev covers, her eyes with her arm.
Mev, it's been a delight, but can I please have my arm back?
Oh, yeah. It's morning? It's morning. And Mev, rolls off.
Even that, the end of days has begun.
Oh my goodness.
Wait.
I didn't mean to.
Oh, by the stars, we've just been lying here all night. We were lucky we weren't savaged by some wild beast.
I mean, I've got the armor. I
Yes,
slept in
but-
that fucking armor.
Does Mev snore?
Mev does not snort, she kicks.
Okay. So Aki probably got kicked in the night as well.
Also, I would
Actually,
assume
Aki
Ned
will-
would have taken off her armor before the conversation stuff.
Oh yes, you're right.
You know, it's kind of like
Yeah.
how Legionnaire soldiers back in the Roman times didn't, you know, march in full armor or rest in full armor, but they had
Yeah,
to get back.
Yeah.
Aki sort of when he's in the middle of getting up, he sort of sits down. He sort of sits to the grass and like puts his leg forwards and goes. And then he notices he's like a bunch of like his legs really hurt, and he like rolls up one pant leg and there's a bunch of bruises on the back of it. And he just goes, "How in the name of the hells did this happen? Are we sure we weren't attacked?"
Not that I saw or heard.
Right, well, I've got bruises all over my legs. They must have come from somewhere.
Bugs. Mev just she runs her hands through her curls. They are a disaster right now. Havelock is probably out looking. Or he's been out.
Yes, possibly. They probably were all right, sick to death. Right, we should probably go back to camp to assuage their fears, eh?
Right. Yes. She like shakes any like leaves and grass and stuff out of her hair, smooths out her clothes.
Yeah.
Fuck
Aki gets up,
me.
brushes himself off, and then just like shakes his head to get all the grass out. And then
A few bugs may have made a temporary home in your hair.
yeah, it's fine. Has anyone in the party got prestidigitation?
Nope.
Okay. I mean, I could do speak to animals and tell the animals to fuck off. Tell the bugs to fuck off.
Technically, and this has actually been looked at, like a moth has an intelligence score of 0.
Yeah, I know.
So
Exactly.
you can try, but
And so Aki will pick himself up. I'm guessing has Mev already stood up?
Yeah, Mev's up.
Yeah. Aki will sort of stand up, look at the sunrise, do a big old and do a big old stretch, and just go. Well, another day begins.
No red sky.
It's pretty though.
She starts to make her way back to the camp. Just more so looking just embarrassed.
Can I tell she's looking embarrassed?
Sure.
Or
Roll
would that
insight.
yeah. I just want to see her demeanor as we're walking back to camp.
Oops,
That
I didn't mean to
rolls.
roll that. But it's 15.
Hold on. In Siget.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely see that she looks very, very embarrassed. There's a deep blush on her face. She also looks stressed out about the fact that they spent the night out here.
Yeah,
Just embarrassed and stressed.
Aki will go over to Mevela and go. What is the matter, Mevela? You seem off.
I just didn't mean to fall asleep here and kill your arm, and I'm sure Havelock's been running around worried. I'm just I'm embarrassed that I let that happen.
Listen. Remember when Bomir was talking about letting the flow of nature take its course?
Yes.
Why isn't it the same for people's lives? Why can't we do how we feel and let fate and chance take us where it wants to? So it seems that at the
She
time,
stares at you for a second and just starts grinning. You know, if you said that to a girl, she'd fall for you instantly.
Really?
Oh, definitely. That was very romantic.
Wasn't supposed to be. I was just trying to dissuade your fears.
Really?
Yes,
I
really.
mean, I don't doubt that that's what you were doing, but just let me say that to you, you know? Oh, Aki, why don't we just let life go where it takes us? You know? So, it sounds very cheesy.
Fucking the poor asexual struggling with this.
Have you ever read the romance book?
I try. They always bored me.
Try reading them again, but just dissect the weird shit that they do. Because that line, I'm pretty sure I've heard it before, in one of those books. And it's so cheesy, it's so stupid. I think they're hilarious.
So you're calling me cheesy and stupid?
No, I think that you had a very sweet sentiment. I'm just saying that I've heard that in books, and you would get a kick out of it.
Well then.
Tom.
I'm sorry. I've got the bad touch by Bloodhound Gang stuck in my head right now. With that,
Yeah.
yes. It's running. It's just the nothing but mammals part of it. It's just running through my head because of that. It's just like, god damn it.
I mean, the song does mention oceans.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And battleships.
But thanks. That that definitely made me feel better.
Yeah, see? We felt...
See?
Yes, well, you wanted to... You wanted to come out here and, last night and confide, and then we both decided mutually on our own that we wanted to, well, not move. So it was a mutual decision, and if they take umbrage with it, we can both defend it. It's not your fault.
Right.
Well, technically, it's both of our faults. Still, it's nice to have company, eh?
Partner in sleeping crime. Yeah.
Not
No
gonna lie,
sleeping crime. She's over the age of 18.
Not gonna lie, sleeping crime sounds really rapey.
Yeah. Freaking, Mev actually grins at you. We're the non-dreamers. Wow.
Suppose we do dream, but we dream of impossibilities.
Ooh, the impossible dreamers.
Has a ring to it, I suppose. If you wish to put a name on who we are, apart from, Mevelair and Akrisk.
We are the coolest insomniacs.
Yes, we...
Yeah, I like Proud and Prejudice, don't worry.
Yeah, Proud and Prejudice is staying. That's a great name. Fucking Christ. Yeah, I guess. Aki will sort of start walking back towards the camp.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
All of that. That was fucking adorable.
Yeah.
That was very cute. I loved all of that.
Okay, so, and don't worry, I'm aware of the time. Is there anything that anybody wants to do for their morning stuff?
Havelock's gonna come back and kill us.
Yeah.
Actually, we have to fight Havelock.
As Mev and I, a bit sort of bedraggled looking and maybe with some bags under our eyes, walk back into camp. How were people?
Marine's just holding a rock.
Law. Mev like peeks in her tent.
Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry we're so late. Got indisposed, I suppose.
Oh, we were just a little ways away. You could still see the campfire and everything.
Yes, I can still hear your murmurs. I suppose if you shouted loud enough for help, we'd become.
Where is Locke?
Let's have a look. Well then, I suppose we have a first task of the day then, don't we?
Alright. Mev will
Who
go
wants to help me with
search.
this?
Yeah.
I'll go hunt. I'll go looking for traces and tracks that could be Havelock.
Okay, survival checks.
Hell yeah. Ding. And boom. 18.
Please. Holy shit.
Mev.
Mev's gone. Goodbye.
You know what? She fell into quicksand. It's the only explanation.
I was actually thinking like maybe she like slipped and fell into like a fucking tunnel.
So it takes a little bit of time, given that Havelock has been wandering around quite a bit during the night. Well, how do they find you, Havelock? Specifically, how does Aki find you?
Stout face first gripping a rock in the middle of a stream.
Wait,
Hair.
stout face grip.
Water.
Wait, so what? So you're holding a rock over a stream, like you're about to clobber a fish?
No, he's passed out in the stream, sweetie. He's sleeping in it.
Oh dear. I was like, while Mevelair is literally about to like wander off into the distance, never to be seen again. I just go, Mev, found him.
Do I even fucking hear? I don't know at this point.
Do you want to see how much the nice gods hate you today with a perception check?
Yes, 1,000%. Oh god! Holy shit!
Oh my
I quit.
fucking
I
God.
quit.
She's gone, Tom! She's gone!
So you know this dryad character you were gonna make?
Yeah. Yeah.
Might have to make that a bit sharpish, love.
Aki, make another survival check for me, please.
Ugh. You're like a toddler in a shopping mall. Jesus Christ.
This is why we've got the second survival check.
Yeah.
Watch this be his one.
Nope.
Oh, thank God.
Dirty 20 and make it 23.
You're fine, Mev.
Is she about to just wander off a fucking cliff or something?
Considering her shitty perception, I'd say she's about to also hit that stream. She's like a ways away, and she is not paying attention. She's about to fucking like fall into it.
Okay,
Blub,
can
blub,
I before she does, can I run up and try to just put an arm on her shoulder?
That's a How far away am I? That's the question.
Would I need to dash?
Yeah.
Oh, but then I don't have I guessing putting an arm on someone's shoulder, a hand on someone's shoulder, that's an action, isn't it?
No, that's a free action. You put your hand on the shoulder.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It's if you did
fair enough.
anything beyond that, really. Like, grabbing them, pulling them back.
Like cast Moonbeam or something and fry us both.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and literally just before she walks into the stream, I just put a hand on Mevlar and go, oh! Where are you going?
Mev like jumps and she looks at you. I was looking for a headlock.
Well, he's clearly passed out down there.
Then where?
And I just down there, and I point like quarter of a mile down the stream, and he just passed out in it. See?
Oh, I didn't
See,
even see the stream.
One comatose idiot right there.
She looks around. Holy fuck! I'm really close to the water,
Yes, you are.
and I can't swim.
It's honestly baffling that you can't.
Many have tried to teach me. Oh, fuck. I am out of it today.
Well, but try to get back. Try to get back in it, please. We have no idea what to take on hold.
Right. And she slaps her cheeks a couple of times. She's gonna go to Havelock.
How much damage do you take?
What?
It would be 4 for each.
Yeah.
And then I'll go over to have a look in the stream and basically just pick him, just fire him and carry him.
Oh, Havelock. What are we going to do with him?
An option is just leaving him where I found him.
Could never leave Havelock.
True, but not in the stream at least. It'd get cold.
I doesn't really care about that. He likes the water, but I couldn't just abandon him. He's my best friend.
True. And by his inclination, he may have murdered a few people as well, but that's by the by.
It's just kind of where he comes from. Mev waves her hand a little bit. Havelock's very nice. I mean, he did kind of stay out all night trying to look for us, even though we were 60 feet away. He's not the brightest, but I think he has a good heart.
True, and we seem to get along well enough, I suppose, him and I.
Think so.
Honestly, I would miss his presence if he wasn't there suddenly. There would be there'd be a dearth in my life here and now, honestly. Who would I go out running shelters with in the morning?
I mean, you could always go with me. I can go shirtless.
With your breasticles flopping about?
My breasticles.
Your things, your neverminds, your...
Yeah?
Wouldn't it get in the way and, smack you in the face?
Not really. They're fairly perky.
Well, I'm happy for you. Anyway, shall we get back to the rest of them?
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
What?
Oh, that's fucking funny. Yeah, I kind of wanted him to keep going.
I was just kind of feel like, and it's getting deeper and deeper.
I'm English. We have so many words for rude bits of your body.
Alright, we come back with Havelock.
Yeah.
Have a lot passed out, strewn across Aki's shoulders.
Mhm.
He's 20 pounds heavier with wet hair.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
And Aki, and Aki goes, and as promised, one comatose Tablock, and he plonks him back on his bedrock.
Okay. So, I assume with that, nobody else has got anything for the morning rituals outside of, the usuals?
I'd say, yeah.
Okay.
Unless Kindling wants to say something, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Peach, you and I have had a little had our fill of the limelight.
In the distance, you hear Bommy be like, "Am I a fucking joke to you? Do you not remember what happened on the entire first half?"
Yeah, true.
How's my breakfast?
What did I do to you? Probably just leave you all on the night.
Ah,
You're left in here
Nice.
with a robot.
oh.
What would I have to roll to perceive this slight, the insult of the meager breakfast?
Probably insight.
Okay, let me insight my breakfast. Hold on.
Oh, well. Something's off about the breakfast, but you can't tell too much. Yeah, you assume it's nothing.
Yeah, I'll just go perhaps I was the last one served. No matter. That's fine. He'll just scoff down the fucking scraps that
Slight hand kindling.
Kindling gave me. Just like the bacon rinds and the end bits of the loaf of bread.
I'd say something seems a bit. It's not a bit. Nah, it's probably just your imagination.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I'm scared.
What?
Help me! I'm scared. Don't help me! I'm
Fucking
scared.
Kindling put fucking arsenic in it. Some laxative.
I'll also post here in the squared box of holding the text chat you guys missed while you were talking.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
that was-
you.
that was-
I was actually scrolling up for it, and I was like, wait.
Yeah, I mean, I got it all recorded as well anyway, but it's gonna be. Actually, it's not gonna be too long before this one comes up now. Yeah.
Okay.
How the fuck
Yeah.
do I write
Okay.
How the hell do I write notes for all of this?
I don't know.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
I know, right?
Okay, so with your morning details all finished and completed, you
Hell
saddle up Crispy again. You get all your various things in order. You make sure the campfire is out properly, and you head off on the next leg of your adventure. I know we're going to end the session here, but just somebody roll me a d10, would you?
Can I do
Alright.
it?
Sure.
No, yeah, go ahead.
Yay. D10. 4.
Okay. And we'll find out what that entails next time.
I don't like that face, Tom.
That was
I
a
don't
good
like that face.
That was a bad good face.
That was a bad good face. Fuck. Oh my god, TPK.
Ah,
Just note down that you rolled a 4 there, so I know which one's for you.
freaking.
Okay. Yeah,
Good
well,
session, guys.
that was just a single day of
That
travel.
was
That was half a day of travel.
Yeah. That was fucking good.
You had you
Man.
had a massive low drop with Watch Bullet with Vomya, and then a cute moment
Yeah.
in the second half.
Yeah, it was good.
You know, it'd be
Frickin'.
real funny if we go down the line, that River gets really pissed off, and we find out Havelock just fucked a water spirit or something.
Well, technically, that's a new
Yeah,
big bad,
that-
a water
To be
nymph.
fair- I mean, to be fair,
The
I
Naiad.
did during that night. I did speak to plants. So I could have asked like you know, a local bit of brush, like, hey, was that guy there? Was he bothering you? Is he okay?
Oh,
Oh
no,
my
he was
goodness,
doing
fucking-
fine.
That's
Fucking-
really good.
You know what? That's headcanon for me now. Havelock fucked a naiad.